Hey, welcome to my weapon spotlight on the Falx. It's a curved sword, which you only need one and you're able to dual wield it, which is really nice. Just clicking the R1 and triangle, or RB and Y if you're on Xbox. And it's a great weapon. It's got the usual curved sword maneuvers, so the R1s are really nice to combo together. And it's got a unique Ash of War, so it upgrades with somber smithing stones. And it's an L2. You just dash forward, and then afterwards you can click R2 and it does this crazy slashing movement that does heaps of damage and procs the bleed that it has on, like, naturally. It just has 55 blood loss. So it's decent. And with the Ash of War, you proc it really easily. The only problem is the Ash of War is quite hard to use on most bosses, especially DLC bosses. But the R1s get the job done. They do it. They do huge amounts of damage, and you can still easily proc bleed with them. And the curved sword R1s are just probably the best R1 chain of attacks in the game, in my opinion. Especially dual wielded. So, it's up for debate, but yeah, in my opinion, yeah, they're the best. For this build, armor doesn't really matter. Just go with whatever you have and that, meets the requirements of the medium role. Talismans, I've gone with the Lord of Blood, stamina talismans and defense talismans, but use Millicent's Prothesis if you like the successive attacks. It's quite hard to pull off on the DLC though, because you get very little break between the chain of attacks, so proccing the successive ones is quite hard, but it's doable. I would also recommend maybe the Claw Talisman. You get the boosted jumping attacks, and the Curved Sword jumping attacks is quite nice. But yeah, onto the gameplay. The L2, it's decent. It's good against certain enemies, the small enemies that you can stagger, but right here, they jump out of it and you're just stuck in the animation, so that's the only downside. You can't really cancel it, but when it pays off, 4,000 damage just from that one L2 and R2, and just staggered them out of it. So against bosses though, it's way harder to use, but against the smaller enemies, it's perfectly fine. But the R1s get the job done against bosses. It's got such a nice combo, you can pull out whenever you want. But they chain together real nice. They're real quick to use. The only weapons that are quicker really are the daggers, I believe. And that's a dagger, let's say, expected. But right here, I tried to pull off the L2 R2. Doesn't quite work. He just moves back and slaps me out of it. But still did heaps of damage. And yeah, the R1s just get the job done. They're going to be great for bosses. They're going to be great for the normal enemies. And you're going to fly through the game with it. Overall, I really like this weapon. Definitely try it out. Go mainly dex. I think that's what the main scaling is. Tiny bit of strength, but you just want dex, really. And whatever the requirements are for strength. You get this boss you get this weapon in the DLC, and it's absolutely great. So, yeah, try it out. Thanks for watching.